Well, hi there. It's Random Morons in the Basement. We're the Aardvark Brigade coming at you with rambling, bizarre debate. So, we have Jason Kruger and David Harvey here to debate tonight. We are going to debate on the effects of modern film on the theater industry. Harvey, we'll start with you.
Well, are we talking about the legitimate theater, or are we just thinking about like your drive-in, your average drive-in? What kind of theater are we talking about?
Well, like the classic theater, like plays and actors and people who...
Like Broadway, etc.?
Yeah, Broadway, etc.
I think it's been very bad on the theater industry because it's like television. There's so much of this low-level, intellectual...
Okay, low intellectual, all right.
That people don't go to the real legitimate theaters, like in the old days, like, I don't know, Sophocles. Okay, think of Sophocles. Think of a good play by Sophocles. I like to settle back and watch a good play by Sophocles. I don't know about you.
Well, I mean, if you're into tragedy and human suffering, sure, yeah. Sophocles is great. But,
plus, he's funny. See, people don't realize that they say it's a Greek tragedy, but it's very funny if you follow the lines in the real Greek. If you just understand the real Greek, you're laughing your way
right, but a lot of people
don't
understand the real Greek, or even Shakespeare for that matter. And I think that modern film, it has been watered down. It is kind of to the lowest common denominator, and a lot of those shows do get turned into things that are on Broadway. I mean, let's look at Spam-A-Lot, or let's look at, I have a friend of mine that's currently touring with a show called Elf, that's based on the Will Ferrell movie Elf. And the one thing that I think is a benefit to it is the fact that it's getting people back into the theater, even if they are just seeing the stage version of the movie.
Have you ever sat through an Aeschylus play and laughed?
I have not had the opportunity to see any works by Aeschylus.
No one in the world's history has ever had that opportunity. Because there are very few yips in an Aeschylus play. The Orestean trilogy is all about murder. There's no laughs there.
So, Dave, how does modern film affect that?
Modern film? My last movie that I actually sat through was Birth of a Nation. So that was, that was 20 years ago, I think. And so I'm really not up to the modern method of creating a story through film.
Well, and I think creating a story through film has become such a totally different entity than what is out there for theater that it's kind of pushed the envelope for theater to make us have to have better special effects and things like that to keep the spectacle going for people, which is something that was based on the original Greeks, is that spectacle was a big part of all of their shows, whether it was their tragedies, their comedies, whatever. I mean, I don't think it's really good for the intellectual content of it, but I think it's been really good for just getting the butts in the seats, and that's what keeps the theaters running. Hopefully people will get smart again someday.
Yes, but do you realize what happened to ancient Greece? They had a peak that lasted about 100 years maybe, and then it was all downhill. The Spartans came in, then the Romans came in, then the Visigoths came in, and it was bad news, let me tell you. And all those nice little, those humorous plays by Sophocles and Aeschylus and Euripides, that didn't mean anything.
So, are you saying that that's the point that we're getting in this country too, where we're hitting that 100-year peak?
No, I don't think we have to worry about that, because we are so far away from Sophocles, Aeschylus, and Euripides that we've got a long way to climb before we fall off the cliff. I mean, when you're on Dumb and Dumber, you don't really have to worry about intellectuals losing the understanding of reality. When you watch Dumb and Dumber, and I've never watched Dumb and Dumber, but I sort of got the idea. Yeah, but I've got the idea. I sort of catch on, and I say that's a good place. Our last discussion had to do with who should we put in jail. I think that if we should put everybody who wants to watch a Dumb and Dumber movie in jail. I think that would clean up society enormous.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have to wrap this up soon because thanks to David Harvey's new reforms, me and Jason will be going to jail for enjoying Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
Jason, closing statements.
I think that modern film has done a lot of good things for the theater, but it has also really, really watered everything down a lot, which is just something you see in society all the time. So.
Oh, so you're not making a decision. All right. Harvey, what are your closing statements?
I have no closing statements. I'm still pondering Aeschylus.
Okay,
And
well, with that, I would like to end
I'm getting
tonight's...
I'm also getting very depressed, Mr. Moderator. Let me just put that...
I would like to end
I'm
tonight's
depressed.
debate with the official scoring: Jason 8, David Harvey 4,005. Have a good night.